following podcast is being brought to you by the Defy Life Podcast Network.
Maybe we can still heal you. Why? So you could just lock me up? No. Just bury me in the ocean with my ancestors that jumped from the ships. Because they knew death was better than bondage.
Oh, you think darkness is your ally? You merely adopted the dark. I was born in it, molded by it. I didn't see the light until I was already a man. By then it was nothing to me but blinding. The shadows betray you because they belong to me.
In the hell do you think you are?
Okay, it's not working out. I'm gonna need the suit back.
For how long?
Forever. Yeah, that's
No, please.
Let's have it.
You don't understand. This is all I have. I'm nothing without this suit.
If you're nothing without this suit, then you shouldn't have it. Okay?
So, Oz, this week we are going to have another member of the Unsupervised Podcast joining us. And this guy has been on the show before. Real excited to have him on. And so let's get right to it. We have Money joining us. Oz, you say you have a lot to discuss with Money.
We have topics to discuss, and it's a rare occasion. I'm going to say this, and I don't mean any harm. It's all out of love. It's a rarity when I can actually talk about politics with a fellow podcaster on this show. So
that's fair.
And you know, and there were some very relevant things that listen. I listened to I'm gonna come off the bat, and just say, I listened to their show, and I'm gonna tell you, I listened to it. It will not be the last time I listen to your show, Money. Yeah, I should have told West Coast Jay last time when he was on the show, but man, it's smart. It's very smart. But anyway, we got a lot to talk about, man. It's all good.
And Money, I guess I should ask, are you ready for the countless number of rants that you are about to endure from Uncle Oz?
Hey, man, I listened to the last few shows, man, and I was like, yo, the comic connoisseur rambles a lot. Like,
shots fired. I love it.
Yo, son be in his bag though. Like,
hey, Money. I'm trying to rein it in, but hey, man, I do. I am like a tumbleweed, man, in the desert. I will ramble on and on and on. So hey, it's good.
You go get it, brother. Hey, for real, you be going to get it.
And look, and now you about to go into it like he been dying to talk to somebody about some politics. So now you really got him revved up.
Let me just tell you off the bat, for you, Ridley Scott, and for Money, I've been dying literally to and for those that don't know, please listen to the Undisputed. I've been dying
unsupervised, dude. Unsupervised. This ain't Fox.
You give us one name, Pooh gives us another name. It's all good. You call us Undisputed, Pooh calls us the sequel.
Only because I think of when I think of your show, I think of what's his name, Michael J. White. So Undisputed too. But I think there was Wesley Snipes was in one of the Undisputed, by the way.
By the time it's all over, Money, y'all are going to be the Undisputed, Unsupervised sequel, the spinoff.
Please.
Right.
Please, everybody listen to the show. Please download episode 1 and 2 of the Unsupervised.
The Unsupervised, the Spinoff Podcast, powered by the Defy Life Podcast Network.
Let them know, Money. Let them know how it's supposed to go.
Yes, because I just felt like episode 2 was very relevant, even to the Valentine's Day gifts. So that's all I'm saying.
Okay, well let's dive into it before we set the table and really get into our conversation. Go ahead, Oz. Kind of lay out what you had on your mind.
So I have some beers. I got a hold of this really good beer that I like. So, and then I was making some burrito bowls for the family. And then I was listening to podcasts as I was cooking, and I was like, oh man. Let's just start with, for number 1, the Valentine's Day gift. Money, I would like to say this to you. Without getting into any of the specifics of anything, if your girl or your partner, I want to be good to everybody, to our trans, gay, straight, everyone. If your partner ever sends you a mold of your or her asshole or their asshole, they're literally saying, you can kiss my ass. That's what I was going to say. Okay,
yeah, I'm good on that.
So don't anyone, I don't care whatever fetish you're into, don't anyone ever be like, oh my God, that's awesome. No. They're literally telling you in a sublime way, at anything, you can kiss my ass. Okay,
so kiss your ass or eat your ass.
Dude, they were
any of that. Like, and you heard me. I was the only one. I was like, nah, I'm good on that. Like, I'm good on that, fellas. Like, but my co-hosts, they were all for it. Like, yeah, I'm gonna eat the titties. I'm gonna eat the arm meat.
No.
Oh, my bad. Can I say that on this show?
Yeah, hey, say what you want, bro. You can say whatever you want. But let me say this though. What did you expect when you got my man? You got Paul, who's a writer, and you know he writes the erotica.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's right up his alley. Shout out to
West
Paul.
Coast
I got to
Jake's
get you on the show
nasty.
too.
Shout out to HP. Shout out to my co-host.
Yes.
West Coast Jay, Hollywood Paul,
yeah.
New nickname HP. They're dope, man. They're really dope. Our energy
they're awesome.
It's crazy. Hollywood Paul will dive head first into a topic, and I love that about him. I love that.
That guy went spelunking in a lot of topics, dude.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I like the vocabulary you used there, spelunking.
It was just so funny, dude. I was literally just tripping, and I mean everything, man. I'm sorry, dude. Even I gotta look, man. I don't care by hook or crook. I'm getting on your show, man, because there's so much political stuff, dude. I love the whole spin on the Pelosi thing, and there's a whole other Pelosi thing that people don't realize about that too. But yeah, man, like everything y'all said about the whole, like the ripping up the stuff, and the decorum. But I do want to add that there was a time in American politics where literally a dude was like he took his cane and caned the dude, caned the abolitionists, because he was like, oh, you want to free the slaves, the Negroes, the Negress? And he like caned him in the hallways of Congress, dude.
Yeah, that's why they have rules now, though.
Yeah, but so it and by the way, it's all theatrics too. Because well, come say this, man. It was said, and you said it so eloquently, like, dude, we have to get. I shouldn't say we. Democrats have to get their house in order, man. You got to hit them. You got to hit them like they hit you.
Mm-hmm.
And no one's been doing that, man. Like they should have been running ads every time Donald Trump says something. They should run an ad across all radio, across all TV, just clowning this cat, dude. But they don't do it. They're like, our decorum says. I was like, dude, this guy is like saying, "Fuck your decorum. I'm shitting on your decorum."
And that's why.
Yeah, go ahead, man. Yes. Yeah,
that's why I dug. So that's why I was digging at them, like letting them know, like I actually was so refreshed to see Nancy be a little petty.
Yeah,
like when West Coast was saying, I thought that was petty. I was like, it was petty. It was very petty, and I fucking love it. I hope she because I think she has finally realized that there's nothing wrong with giving this guy some of the fire that he dishes out. I think it's gonna take some of that to beat him in November.
Money.
Absolutely.
It's not gonna take some of that. It's gonna take all of that, dude. And they should. And by the way, they are 3 years too late doing it.
Well, hey, you got, like you said, Democrats have a standard that they try to live. They try to take the moral high ground. They were trying to take the advice of Michelle Obama to say when you go low, we go high. That was a thing, and it just sometimes, just like I said, like sometimes your dad tell you, son, it's okay to walk away from the fight. It's okay to walk away from the fight. They saying something. They're not hurting you. It's okay to walk away from the fight. But then sometimes my dad used to tell me, "Hey, yo, son, you got to go out there and do your thing." Like, so
dude, man, do you know my pops? I'm gonna bring up my pops again for the XFL. But man, my pops used to tell me, dude, and I had to do it, man. And trust me, growing up being a kid with asthma was not, a comic book nerd with asthma was not easy. He used to tell me, he was like, "You're gonna lose a lot of them fights, man, but you just gotta fight." And there is some times where you will lose, but you gotta fight. And these cats, I think the Democrats, someone said this, and I don't want to get this into a political show, but a comedian said this, and I don't want to steal. It was a guy, so I don't want to steal his interpretation of it. But man, the problem with fighting all the saying you should anti-bully, all this stuff is people forgot how to fight bullies. How to stand up to a bully. And we have a bully in the office, and you need to attack a bully like you attack a bully. I agree. Yeah, and the whole thing is you have a whole bunch. Like the GOP, they're just going, "Yo, man, I'm trying to keep my private parking space, so I ain't gonna say nothing about this cat because he can destroy me on Twitter."
Oh, the GOP is full of cowards.
Don't even
get me started.
Right,
not guilty.
You know what I'm saying. But then the Democrats, they don't know. I should have been like, "Yo, man, come holler at me, Democrats." Y'all should have been attacking these dudes on the radio. You should have been hitting them on the radio, TV ads, everything. This guy literally said to me,
They weren't gonna sway. They weren't gonna sway fucking Lindsey Graham, dude. Come on, and Tim Scott. Like not guilty. They were,
dude. How you gonna sway Lindsey Graham when Lindsey Graham is like, "Yo, I am almost 80-year-old bachelor with no kids, and y'all ain't questioning that shit."
Lindsey Graham, man.
Dude, man. So my whole thing about that, and that's why I love the show.
That wasn't shot, but that's what I believe. I believe that Lindsey Graham likes men.
Dude, man, I will just say, I believe Lindsey Graham and J. Edgar Hoover have a whole lot in common. So, and I'll leave it at that. People should research or whatever you want to do, but man, you should have been hitting them. You should have been hitting them from the beginning, and that's it. And so, I as usual, I see this is like Regular Scott talking to anybody else about sports. Regular Scott is like radio silence right now. So.
Listen, I have no problem sitting back and let a good conversation unfold and just sitting and learning something. And that's what happens when you listen to the Unsupervised podcast.
Absolutely.
The spinoff. It's so good. That's exactly how their show is going to go. You're going to learn something every time. So just sit back, relax, and listen to three knowledgeable guys talk about politics. How about that for a plug, Money?
Wait. And they talk about everything. It's good, man. It's good. It was good stuff,
All right.
Yeah, we've officially named that segment too, our political segment of the show.
What's it called?
We actually named it Petty Party Politics off of that section. Off of last week's show, we actually named that section Petty Party Politics. So that'll be a regular segment on the show. So
brilliant.
So,
there you go. That's a perfect place for us to go ahead and set the table. I think we've laid out plenty of food for that. This is Take a Knee for Marvel vs. DC. I am your host, Regular Scott. I am here with my co-host, the comic connoisseur, the mighty Ozzy Killmonger. Oz, what's going on?
What is up, good people?
And from the Unsupervised Podcast, the Unsupervised the Spinoff Podcast, powered by Defy Life Podcast, we have Money himself returning to the show. Money, welcome back. Plug your show. Plug anything else you want.
Yo, it's 2 for Tuesdays, man. It's not really Tuesday, but it's part of my catchphrase. So I'm going to say it anyway. It's 2 for Tuesdays, baby. It's Mr. Real himself. The Real is back. I haven't been able to be blessed on this show in a while, so I was very, very excited to get the invite from my main man, Degular. And
already.
Hey, man, I appreciate you guys having me on. What's
but
up?
Non-secular.
Say again?
Get it? Regular, decular, but non-secular.
No doubt. What's up, Oz? What's the deal?
Man, hey, Money, listen to me, man. My heart is beating a little bit. It's not from the beer. It's from the podcast. Listen to you guys. It was good. It was really good. So.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even. Oh, so officially. So you guys have probably heard me before on this show. I know you've heard the Defy Life Podcast, the flagship show of the network. West Coast said it last week. Like, that's kind of what happened. They just, we were trying to figure out, times and voices, and we just decided, hey, y'all got to get the fuck off the show now.
Hey, no. It's okay, Money. You can say it. Kingpin bullied y'all off the show. It's okay.
Yeah, dude. Wilson, hey, the black Wilson Fisk bullied you off the
it's
show.
okay.
It's
fine.
It's 8 of us, and Money, you talk a lot. That's what
Yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, but I don't really talk that much. Like, but whatever. So they so West Coast and I, we have a great chemistry. We have a lot of similar things that we have interest in, and we were the only two non-married dudes on the show. So there were many topics and things that we just we couldn't really dig into like that because everybody else on the show been married for 40 years. So they don't lost a little bit of what it's like to not have a perspective that's not from a married dude that's been married for 40 years.
So true.
God dang,
So,
you gotta put him out there on the 40-year plateau though.
Well, he Money's saying a combined 40 years.
Yeah, I'm averaging them out between.
Yeah, but by the way, 40 years, Scott, as you'll see, is 40 years equates to 4,000 years. But anyway, that's a whole other subject.
So, Money, you said you averaging them out. Who at the top of that average? Who pulling that average up?
Well, Al's been married for about 70 years. He met his wife in middle school, and they got married in 8th grade. So, they're gonna kill me for this.
Yeah, they coming for you for that one.
Yeah, dude, that's throwing it all out there, but that's good. Good.
And my man Jay Pooh, they've been married a long time too, man. But I care about it. It's all love. Those are my brothers.
No doubt.
And yeah, congratulations on another wonderful show this week. Defy Life, man. We grown. We doing big things.
It's awesome.
But yeah, man. So, and we just decided to go and do our own thing, and we was like, man, what are we gonna like? So we was like, you know what? Let's get out of some of that married guy supervision. Like, okay, I don't want to talk about this because my wife might listen or any we ain't want any of those problems. So then we brought in Hollywood Paul, and we was like, oh man, we got something, and we decided to just bring it raw, bring it real, kind of so. I'm the showrunner, the host of the show, and so we get together and we, talk about our topics. So we definitely want to bring a main topic. We definitely want to touch on politics. We want to talk about dating and being single, and I think that the show that really kind of spurred the idea, I think Regular Scott, you was on the show when we talked about the cost of dating and how much the dates cost in different cities, and I was like, it would be dope to have a show where you could talk about that from a perspective of a guy that's not married or a single guy or single girl or whatever, and issues that we can tackle. So it's a dope concept, and we decided to touch on politics because nobody else on the network is in that lane at all. And so it just comes together really nicely, man. So Unsupervised the Spinoff Podcast, Unsupervised the Element, the Spinoff, because we came from Defy Life. And of course we have to throw podcasts in there. So check out our social media on Facebook. Check us out on defylifepods.com, the network. And I'm pretty sure we're on Spotify and Spreaker and everywhere else that you're free. You can get your podcast for free $99. And I want to shout out to everybody on the network.
Word, that's what's up. And you can also find us on Twitter at @NE4MarvelVsDC. That's the number 4. You can also email us at NE4MarvelVsDC@GoDefyLife.com. And like Money said, you can find our podcast as well anywhere you download your podcast, Spreaker, Apple Podcasts, Radio Public, TuneIn, Stitcher, Spotify, anywhere you get your podcasts. We're there at DefyLifePodcast.com, our home base, and we got everything you're looking for. We got the politics, we got AENN, anything, everything, and nothing. We got Movie Man Miggs bringing you reviews. We got the flagship, the Defy Life Show, relationship status. You know, we just got done with Valentine's Day, so now the trouble begins. Honeymoon's over. So there, we got everything you need. And then we got us. Just, you know, like Oz says, just a few blurs. What else you going to do on a Sunday?
Not just a few blurs, man.
Yo, when I heard you say that last week, I busted out laughing.
What you doing on a Sunday?
I was like, my man Oz.
Yes, sir. Uncle Oz. All right.
Hey, I'm here, man. I'm here. I'm just saying.
Okay. So last week, you know, we had West Coast Jay on, and I had some news tidbits, but Uncle Oz wanted in West Coast, they wanted a nice sparring session to get ready for the battleground that didn't end up happening. I won't put you through that again, Oz.
Well, no, dude. Bring it, dude. Bring it, son.
That is completely up to our guests, though.
Dude,
I feel like you guys just did a battleground like last week, though.
Yeah, we did. And so all I want to do is, man, I'm just here to like support money, man. You know, unlike you, regular Scott. Unlike you, who's trying to like monopolize.
No.
And by the way, money has felt and sensed the tension that's coming obviously from you. So you just got to come correct, man.
No, not at all. Because what I was going to say is I have a ton of news tidbits, you know, from the last couple of weeks that we can just kind of go through, and that can just kind of be the meat of our show.
I love that. Only if money is down with it.
Oh, I'm game.
And then, of course, you know, I got a one's got to go when we take our break and come back. So, you know, we got some stuff we can dive into, and I think some of these topics are going to be more than enough for us to kind of talk about. So, let me start with one that I think has kind of caught everybody's eye. And Money, I'll start with you. Have you seen the Batman new costume reveal?
Oh, I have not.
So this just came out a few days ago as of recording this, and this is kind of a last minute thing I thought about bringing up. And it's Robert Pattinson. He's got his Batman suit on. Apparently, he's got the gun that was used to kill his parents infused into his bat symbol. And it's got a very Daredevil-esque vibe and kind of scenery to it. Uncle Oz, you've seen it. What did you think about the suit, and does this get you more excited?
No, I wish they would not have did that, actually. When I saw that suit, I was wondering, hey, is that also a batarang? Because it looks like it can be taken out and used as a utility tool, you know. But I'm full on Blur style. I saw it and I was like, man, let's see what the rest looks like. I don't know if I was so into it or not, but it wasn't. It didn't excite me that much. What do you think, Robert Scott?
Well, let me. Can I jump in real fast? Because I just checked it out.
Yes.
I mean, it's dark.
Yeah.
You know, there are some, and I've touched on this before. I'm not a comic purist. Like, you don't have in order to get me excited, you don't have to keep everything as originally intended. So I'm not one of those dudes, but I do take pleasure in some of the originalities, and they took the bat symbol out of the main chess piece, and they, it's a gun, and
yeah,
like I've never known Batman to even want to have anything to do with a gun. So I don't know. Yes.
Money. I want to ask you this. So when you just saw it. Did it like go, whoa? Did it excite you? Or were you just going, what the?
No,
fuck?
I couldn't really tell where the symbol started and the suit ended. Like it's not defined enough, and it's a gun, and so I'm a little turned off.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of on the other side of it. Like I actually really liked the gun touch of it, because to me, I'm hoping that the gun is going to symbolize him not using guns. And that's going to kind of be his reminder. So every time he looks at him, when he looks in the mirror, he sees that as his reminder that I'm not going to kill. I'm not going to stoop to that level. And this is why I'm doing this. So that's kind of how I took the gun interpretation as far as him putting it into his bat symbol. And this is still, this is going to be an early Batman. I think it's going to be like year 1 or year 2. So he's still kind of working the kinks out, and he's still working through his emotional trauma, which he truly never really gets over, but I'm sure it's at a much higher, it's much stronger as, right now. So I'm okay with it for right now. I'm still holding out as far as the full costume until I see the ears. I think the ears are going to be very important.
I like the boots. Regular Scott, I'm sorry. I do my thing and interrupt everybody. So here you go. Regular Scott gives away a $500,000 synopsis of the thing. I will promise you, they weren't even thinking as deep as you just thought about that when you just said all that stuff, dude. It just feels like it's just kind of like, but you just breaking it down like that. I'm like, okay,
let's make it a gun.
Go.
Yeah,
yeah. But they're like, hey, we can't put nipples on the armor anymore because people got mad at that. So let's make it a gun. But the way you just broke it down, I was like, oh, okay.
That was deep.
That was kind of you had me at battering. Okay, cool.
Well, I mean that's where they're going with it. He might just end up pulling them out of his symbol and start blasting people. Hopefully not, but you never know what Hollywood is.
No. But once again, you gave away all the money. So like they're like, oh yeah, we just thought of this when they listened to the podcast, going, oh yeah, I had a regular idea. Wink, wink. Come on, man. We ain't 2020. We ain't giving away no more money to people, dude. Okay.
All right. Well, I'll use Batman as my segue into the Marvel side of the news. Christian Bale, who has also portrayed Batman, is rumored. Yes. Y'all like that segue right there? Christian Bale is rumored to be the main villain in Thor: Love and Thunder.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna start with you, Oz, because when I don't really have an idea or I need some knowledge or some history, I turn to you when it comes to comics. Who could Christian Bale be playing? And it's supposed to be like an alien type figure. Who could he be playing in Thor, Thunder and Love as a villain who would be strong enough to go against not only Jane Foster's Thor, but Thor himself?
Oh, as soon as I see that those chiseled features off of that young actor turned American Psycho turned Batman turned legend turned the mechanic who lost 30 pounds for this role, I feel like this guy is going to be Mephisto.
Wow. Okay.
He could be some other stuff. Like they've already done the kind of dark elf thing of stuff, but just looking at him and how he can mold himself into any character and do it. I feel like there's a weird Mephisto, especially if it's connected with WandaVision. And we also know that Mephisto had a little bit of role in that. What was that Spider-Man thing? Was it If One More Day or Any Given Day? I got the words wrong, but where he can kind of like do altered reality or altered stuff. So
is that the one where he died and made like a deal with the devil?
Remember that's the one where he he said, if one for one more day and all this other stuff. That's exactly the one, Regular Scott. So to me, not knowing anything off of this, I feel like he's a Mephisto kind of guy because they haven't used him yet, you know?
Okay. Money, do you have an idea who you think he might be, and what are your thoughts on Christian Bale joining the MCU?
I actually like that. I hadn't considered that prior to Oz dropping that nugget on me. Because I was hoping that the next Thor movie would be more of a Guardians movie.
Yeah, I know, right.
Personally, but if they're gonna do another Thor, which you guys know, I'm not a strong Thor fan, but if they're gonna do another Thor, I feel like they've done. I feel like they've done everything.
Well, there's some stuff when Odin actually says, "I'm too old for this." I was geeking out earlier where Odin is like, man, Odin is in his like 30s in his prime, back during BC time, and so he said, "Hey, Thor, take the Odin force against the Thor force," and Thor has like a much longer reign. But as soon as I heard of that WandaVision being semi-connected to Thor, I was like, this feels weird Mephisto kind of stuff,
Right.
So.
And I like Christian Bale. I'm a Christian Bale.
Yeah.
I think he's a strong actor, and I like the Batman that he played, and so he always takes his role seriously. Yeah. And he never disappoints.
He respects him. He respects his roles.
Absolutely. And I think he'll be a strong villain. Now we'll see what the studios are going to do in terms of the next phase of the Marvel stories, because they have a huge act to follow up. Now that we're in the new line of stories, so and are we going to get the same quality, or are we going to get the same? Once again, I didn't think that the Thor stories were very strong.
Even the last Thor movie.
Oh God, Ragnarok. Was that Ragnarok? Was it?
Yeah.
No, I didn't like that crap.
No, and to a certain degree, I will tell you this: all of the Thor movies to me have been Captain America #1,
which was so.
Right. So, dude, exactly.
Regular Scott loves him, but I'm not.
I know. But
not
to me, this is like, man, because dude, Thor could get Thorish on people, dude.
Yes, he can, and I haven't. I mean, outside of a few scenes in the first, in not Civil War, but the damn, what am I trying to say? The scene where he like went crazy on the battlefield when he came back with the axe.
Infinity War.
Infinity War. Outside of this, I haven't really seen Thor get Thorish.
Well, dude,
he's been real silly. He's been real like
a comic relief,
right? And I don't.
Who's infinitely powered?
But so he was very serious in the scene in Infinity War when he came back with the axe, and when he was actually trying to kill Thanos himself, and hopefully it's that style of Thor that we versus like the comic relief style of Thor. So I think the studio and how it's written will play a big role in how I feel about the next Thor movie, no matter who the villain is.
Yeah, I want to remind everybody that there's some really good Thor stories that are just like Thor towards the end of time, like literally when they're like everything's dead, but he's still trying to hold on and make the Earth because he is like his mother is literally he's still connected to the Earth, but like Thor, dude, this guy is like. He even alluded to, he's like, I remember vaguely some people that I used to fight with. This is like 10,000 plus years after the Avengers. So I want to see Thor be godly. He can be drunk and be that, but I never ever got a chance to see him being like, people are like, who is that really mega powered crazy guy right there?
So like Money said, I do enjoy the Thor movies.
Yeah.
The second one left a little bit to be desired. Dark World left a little to be desired. But the first one, I think for an introductory movie, especially during that first phase when they're really kind of getting their footing, I think it's fine.
Yeah.
And the scene, one of my favorite scenes in all of Marvel, actually, which might surprise people, is the scene where Thor, with no powers, goes up against the Destroyer. And he gets tossed around, and then he proves himself worthy and gets his armor and his power back. And that's just it's a really cool scene that was built up really well in the movie. I love Thor Ragnarok. Like I'm really surprised at the almost disdain for the movie. Like I that's going to be the closest thing we get to not only a Planet Hulk, but just as far as like getting like a real Hulk versus Thor battle.
Regular Scott.
Yep.
I got to interrupt you 1 second, and then I won't need more for at least 5 minutes. For 5 seconds.
Can I hold you to that?
Yeah. So hey, I want to throw something out there real quick for you. Yeah. So you said you love the scene where Thor is like a human.
Now I'm gonna interrupt Oz.
Yes, sir.
Regular Scott, do you ever get to finish a thought?
Dude, Money, this dude has no real thoughts.
Well, hey, listen,
point,
Oz, even if I did, I don't get to finish them, so nobody would know them.
You ain't got to worry about it. You ain't got to worry with your thoughts, bro. You ain't got to worry with your thoughts, dude. You ain't got to worry with your thoughts. I got you, Money. I got you. Hey, I got you, Money, and I got you, Regular Scott money. Okay, cool. Hey, so here, this real quick. So, Regular Scott, I want to throw this out to you. Okay, you say you love the scene where Thor proves to himself, like, hey, I'm a human, but I got to go up against this overpowered, omnipotent, armor that will kill me.
Yep.
To show, not to show my father, just to protect these humans. I will love to throw this thought out to you.
Okay.
Thor knows who his father is. The all-seeing Odin who gave up his eyeball to see everything at all times. He knew that if he went up against this destroyer armor, if the destroyer armor, if it came near him, Odin would be like, oh, wait, that's cool. How about this for you? What if he did that on purpose to get his hammer back and to show, quote unquote, that he was worthy, like Constantine did the sacrifice so that he wouldn't go to hell and so that he could go to heaven?
If that's what happened, then he got me. I mean, what do you want me to say today? If that's what he did, he got me because it worked.
Just saying, man.
I mean, even if that is what he did, you still got to have a pretty big set to even stand ahead of the destroyer, knowing what it is, because you know you're going to take a hit.
Dude, this dude has eons worth of fighting.
Right,
even if he's a human.
But he was stripped of his he was stripped of his power. Like, he wasn't Thor the god.
I get you. But dude, in the back of his mind, as the ultimate strategist, even though he is a drunk, even though we all know that he's like, hey, I'm a god, but if you have some good godly beer, I'm gonna drink that. He just knew. He knew anyway that I'll take a hit, but I won't take that bad of a hit because my daddy will help me. Come on,
Daddy ain't help him anyway. Daddy ain't sending that hammer to him.
Yeah.
Daddy just wanted to give him a spanking, dude. This is like when you chastise your child. You're just like, okay, I still love you, but I'm gonna show you a lesson.
Okay, to that. But the children don't always know that they're gonna get their way in the end.
Dude,
Thor is a man child, and
Thor is the ultimate man child.
Absolutely.
At some point,
But
knows.
He didn't know for sure that he didn't know for sure he was gonna be there.
You know what? I'm gonna tell you like this: the all-seeing, all-knowing Odin, who knows everything at all times, it was like, yeah, I get you. This will teach you a lesson. And there's like little inside stuff, man. I'll be quiet because I need money to chime in, so I'll be quiet.
I will say this, Money. I agree with you that Thor's best character arc and his best movies are the Avengers movies. I will 100% agree with you on that. I did enjoy Thor Ragnarok a lot, but his best story was Infinity War and Endgame, just the absolute high and the absolute low, and then just the redemption of what he did. So I will agree with you on that part about Thor.
Yes. Appreciate that, brother.
Oh, no, I appreciate you letting Nas know what the deal is. All right.
In fact, what were you going to say? Like before, you answered this question, but you never finished your Oz. Yo, you wouldn't last 10 minutes on the show with Jay because he would be like, "Will you fucking let me finish?"
and West Coast knows I'd be like, Jay, no, I'm not gonna let you finish.
No, not that Jay. Jay.
Kingpin.
Jay.
He talking about Kingpin.
Well, dude. I would have to do some Daredevil and with the hand stuff on, like Wilson Fisk. Come on, man.
Oh, man. All right. Let's see. Let's go to let's stick with the low key. The low key series is rumored. Well, here's two rumors from the low key series, and I'll let you guys kind of dive into it as you want. Money, we'll start with you. The first rumor is that Owen Wilson, the comedic actor, has been cast in a major role in the low-key series, and also that the low-key series is rumored to introduce Kang the Conqueror. So, Money, I'll start with you, and you can dive into either one of those topics. Owen Wilson getting cast as a major player in the low-key series, and Kang the Conqueror is rumored to be introduced to the MCU through that series.
Well, let me touch on Owen Wilson. I need... You have to make me forget about your previously bad roles.
His whole filmography.
Dude, come on, man. Come on.
What? No, I'm serious. It's like I can't take you seriously if you've been in he's gonna have to do a lot for me to.
Hey, dude, Money. What's the dog movie, dude?
Man.
Marley and Me.
Oh, Jesus.
He's going to have to do a lot for me to be excited about him having a lead role. I don't think, and I don't know if it's him or if it's his previous roles. I just don't find his movies very good.
What about Wedding Crashers?
Oh, come on, dude.
Wedding Crashers is pretty good.
Nah, see, I was actually gonna bring up was it behind?
Is Wedding Crashers the movie where he was hanging out with the girl and it was his best friend, or is that a different movie?
No, Wedding Crashers is the one with Vince Vaughn, and they go to different weddings. And
I'm thinking about the some wedding, something else.
But all those kind of blend in together, though. By the way.
Yeah, I don't.
But did you ever see Behind Enemy Lines though?
Absolutely.
I thought that was awesome. I thought that was him being. I was like, man, you have potential to be actually an action. I thought that he had some Ryan Reynolds potential, but I think he just blew it though.
But what has he done since that?
He is literally, and I'm not going. I don't know what this guy's life is. I'm just speculating. This is pure speculation. But I think he has some issues with the alcoholic beverages.
How you just go speculate that, dude? That's a hell of a speculation.
Dude. He went to rehab for that. That's why I speculate.
Okay. Right.
Listen. It could be for hey, I love the taste of Old Duel's Coors Cutter beer. I don't know. Or it could be like, yo, I'm literally drinking rubbing alcohol. I don't know what it is. But he has some of the drug issues, and I think that kind of made him choose stupid roles. Because there was a thin line where I was like, I can see you as an action dude who's like comedic, but then you went to this whole, you're the romantic dude who's been boxing too much, who's got a broken nose kind of guy.
But he did carve out a nice niche for himself. Like, between that,
that's the role of your agent, dude.
Meet the Fockers, Me, You, and Dupree. Like, he's got a few movies that a lot of people genuinely like. Cars,
right?
You know what I mean?
So what's been said? What's been said, but what has not been said is, what do you both think this guy's going to be in that?
You know what I genuinely think he's going to be if they say he's a major role? Because I see the low-key series just like tackling different eras and being in different places and doing different things in history.
That's what he does.
Right.
It's time.
So I think Owen Wilson is just going to be a certain figure that he has to encounter at each place and portray a different character.
Yeah, money, chime in, because I'm gonna tell you what I think this guy's going to be.
Comic relief.
Dude, I think he's going to be the comic relief, the dude who every once in a while gets a hold of the gem. So Loki and Kang have to actually try and find this guy.
Now, are they gonna finally change Loki's arc to him becoming a good guy, or is it the Loki that disappeared in the last Avengers movie?
It'll be the Loki that disappeared in the last Avengers movie. So it won't be him when he's on his redemption arc. This will still be the villainous Loki.
But maybe he finds redemption through the Wilson character.
I hope not, though. Like, I hope not. Like, I'd rather see Owen Wilson turn to the dark side.
Way, dude.
It doesn't.
I know. But if they have this cat in there, it has to be that kind of thing. Especially if they're saying he's a major character, it has to go that way.
Well, that's part of the reason I think instead of him being like a certain character, he's going to be a different person in each timeline that low-key visits.
I don't think he has the chops for that, dude.
No. See, that's where I disagree with you. I think Owen Wilson is an underrated actor. Like, when he needs to act, he can act.
Oh wow.
Like, I genuinely, I do think that. Like,
Money. I literally just raised my beer to you, and you just said that, by the way.
I'm telling you, like, when he, like, a lot of these comedic actors can genuinely act. Like, look at Steve Carell.
He is not a Tom Hanks.
Vince
dude.
Vaughn can really act.
No, Vince Vaughn. Dude, Tom Hanks is the only comedic actor that can really act.
That's not true. Steve Carell can act.
Okay, wait, I apologize.
Jim Carrey can act.
Carrey can act.
Listen, I apologize for that statement. But Regular Scott, here, I want to be very clear with you. What movie... Sorry, Money. I'm not trying to cut you off. Sorry.
Yeah, you are.
What movie has made you say that, like, that Wilson can really pull his chops and act?
Because I know it wasn't Starsky and Hutch. Like,
dude, Money. It was the dog movie, dude. Because this dude got a dog and he's all sentimental.
Hey, look, you're absolutely right. It is 100% the dog movie. I mean, I'm just saying, like, look, man. You know what it's like to feel that for a dog. So, like, I felt it. So that hit me.
Regular Scott, I got a three-legged dog, but I still know that he can't pull the acting skills.
I would like to offer that it was the story and not.
Thank you, sir.
Owen Wilson that you were appreciative of in that movie.
I won't argue with that. Now I'm gonna use one of Uncle Oz's examples. What about Behind Enemy Lines?
Oh, dude, that's my thing where I was just like, yo, that cat should be an action star.
Armageddon?
Ugh.
I mean,
I was more of appreciative of Bruce Willis than Owen Wilson in that movie.
No question. No question. If I'm comparing the two, no question.
Hey, Money, your next episode is why does Bruce Willis support Republicans?
Because he's a rich white dude. I'm not surprised of any rich white dude.
Hey, that would be the shortest segment.
My
anything.
CEO is a rich white dude. He's a Republican.
He's like, hey, I got money. I don't keep my money.
Look. I am not surprised by rich people that are Republicans.
I
get surprised by poor people that are Republicans.
Oh no! Hey, look, listen. Here's my thing. Poor people who are Republicans surprise me, and rich people who are Democrats, I'm like, wow. That's kind of interesting.
That doesn't surprise me as much because you can be a social democrat, and rich people tend to care a lot about like social justice and cultural justice and things like that. So because a lot of them didn't especially if they didn't grow up rich. So it's easier to be like a rich Democrat than it is to be like a poor Republican. In my opinion, like you vote against all of your interest when you are a poor Republican because that party doesn't fight for anything that you need.
And do you know why poor white people vote for Republicans?
Oh, I have a strong theory that goes back centuries.
Dude, money. Speak on it.
We don't have time for that on this show.
No, speak on it.
It's got a lot to do with. It's got a lot to do with the 1830s and 40s.
Hey, either you speak on it now or you're gonna put me on your show. Either way, I don't care. I don't care either.
It's got a lot to do with the 1830s and 40s because of the original the original slave rebellions were not like just like black slaves. The slave rebellions were actually like poor whites and slaves. And a lot of people don't know that.
Absolutely.
Really, they had, because poor whites in the South, slavery was cutting them out of jobs.
Yeah.
And so the rebellions were to help blacks come out of slavery and also help poor whites be able to get jobs.
To rise up.
But if you're rich and you're white, why would I pay you? Why would I pay you anything to come and do the things that I need you to do when I have these slaves? So the original slave rebellions were together. But what the hierarchy in the South did is they went and they started to peddle whiteness above financial security. And so a large segment of the population started to buy into this notion that my whiteness, like my very whiteness, is more worthy than your blackness or your cause or anything that I'm gonna hitch myself to your wagon, because they had to separate them, because together they weren't going to be able to keep either of those groups down. So they separated them. They kept the black slaves, and then they told the whites, well, we're not going to give you jobs, but you're white. So like one day if you work really, really hard,
you could be like us.
And they bought it. And so
and knowing that they were like, you will never ever be like us.
Oh no, the intent was for them to never amass this amount of wealth, because you can only have so many wealthy people. So, you know, as time, in fact, there's been many stories in the Civil War. I really love the movie Free State of Jones, where where the white soldiers are actually very aware that, like, oh, like, this war isn't for me. I don't own slaves. Like, I don't even care about that cause. I'm fighting for honor. So it's just very, very, which was another term of, you know, whiteness and states, freedom and things like that. But a lot of people were snowed and are still snowed that the powerful economic driving factors in our society don't really care what color you are. They really only care about the money that you have and the money,
the color of green,
the money that you have access to. So it's those same seeds that are still kind of in the minds of those people in Kentucky and Alabama and
here,
Mississippi and Louisiana and here, and like they still think that my whiteness still makes me better. That's how they can, and especially of a certain age group, they were just raised like that. They were just raised that my whiteness. You know, I don't care how bad I have it. I don't care that I'm on 4 or 5 government subsidies. I don't care that I need every government program to just make sure I'm healthy. I don't care that my state's education system is the 3rd worst in the union. This is the way I vote because this is the way my parents voted. This is just what we do. And those people that they send to power don't have to do anything for them.
Yeah, yeah. It's
really, really sad.
Yeah, they seem to keep perpetuating that that lie and that story because there's like so many examples like 1619 first slave ships come over. First ships come over that have Africans to be enslaved. So they're there and they're hanging out, and well, lo and behold, they're hanging out with everybody. They're hanging out with like indentured servants who are white, and they're like, oh yeah, I got to do this. Oh, you have skills too. Well, they also are hanging out in bars, hanging out after hours when they're not working, and they're all like going, oh yeah, man, it sucks to work for this guy. He ain't doing crap, dude, but he's making us hurt. And so they did implement all these like bogus laws that said, hey, guess what? If you get in a fight with another white person, you will go to jail. For sure. If you get in a fight with another black person, you're cool. It's fine, you know? And actually that exceeds to murder too. By the way, if you guys are congregating, hanging out together, that's not a problem. That's a big problem. So you can't do that either. So all these little laws that were sprinkled in and stuff like that, it just translates to all this stuff to where we are now. So people who are ever saying that, we say I do this, as long as it took us to get here, it's going to take as long as that to get us out of here too. You know, because man, it takes a lot of people to realize that a lot of things were done to make people feel like they have power when they don't have power, and also to make people feel like they shouldn't get with this group either, you know? So yeah, it gets very deep, man.
And it doesn't, and I don't want to jump on this, but I just want to say it's when you ask yourself, how does it happen? It's very, very easy. When you divide things up.
Oh yeah.
It's very, very easy to do. All you have to do, for instance, like you don't know anything about, for instance, when you start high school. And you don't know anything about that high school. You don't have any allegiance to that high school. But what do? They have these pep rallies. And in the pep rallies, they get all the kids together and they impart all this quote unquote school spirit. And it's rivalry week. It's rivalry week. And all of a sudden you're like, because I went to Northwest, so our rivals were Concord and A.L. Brown. And like I had friends at both of those schools, but like, they were our rivals. Now, when I was in the 7th grade, I had no idea of that because I wasn't at the school. So it's that pep rally mentality. And that's, if I can just use the scenario of a pep rally where you get all rah 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 to like not like those people and just like the people in this setting, and that happens in 30 minutes.
Money.
So, yeah,
money. We used to at my school, at my high school, we used to have bonfires before a football game.
Yes, I remember that.
Where everybody was saying, "Oh my God, woo, woo!" We don't like the rival school that is literally like 15 minutes away from us. We don't like this school. Okay, so we'd have these bonfires. Dude, the bonfires to me to this day always remind me of like that's like a burning cross. You know, you're brilliant about that. It's the little things that get us desensitized to go like, oh, well, it's okay to have it. It's okay to like this football team, this basketball team, this whatever, blah, 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 blah. But it goes on and on. But, it took us, like I said, America to me has always been this awesome, amazing experiment. And whether the experiment is this catastrophic failure or whether it's just like, damn, we actually did something cool to us, man, that's all.
Facts.
Yeah.
No doubt.
So,
that's a good place to take a break. So normally when we take our break, we usually plug a commercial. But since we have money here from the Defy Life podcast, we're going to let you plug your own show and give your own little commercial on the spot.
All right. So, I just bumped into my mic. My bad. But check us out, Defy Life Podcast Network. The new show, brand new show from the network, Unsupervised the Spinoff Podcast, featuring me, Money, Mr. Real himself, West Coast J, and Hollywood Paul HP. We drop every Thursdays only on the Defy Life Network, and we're going to be bringing all types of topics, all from real life, dating, politics, sports, culture, music. And we're introducing a new segment starting next week's show. It's going to be called Weird Stat of the Week. And so we're really excited about that. When I bring us back in, I'll tell y'all a little bit about what that is and an example of it. So check us out on the network. We're really, really excited. Listenership's already booming, but we definitely want all the listeners that we can get. So jump on there, listen, share, rate, follow, favorite. All of that. If you're not rocking with Defy Life, what's your life about?
Nah, I'm gonna make a commercial for you guys. Is that cool?
No, that's not cool.
What you doing on a Sunday?
What else you gonna do on a Thursday?
I might need to bring that classic back.
Just
like the whole thing. I might just edit it. I might edit that into the show.
Regular Scott, I thought me and you were getting along and being mature about this. Now, okay, that's cool.
Hey, you brought it back last week. I heard you say it. What else you gonna do on the Sunday? I was dying laughing.
Oh, man.
Money, am I supposed to be responsible for what I say when I'm drinking? Excuse me?
I mean, yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. That is called adulting, everybody. So thank you.
All right, so I got a one's got to go. Okay. Now I know Valentine's Day has already passed, but I'm still feeling the love. So this one's got to go is one of these classic comic book couples can no longer exist. Okay. So one of these classic couples.
Valentine's Day post, huh?
Yeah, I told you after Valentine's Day, things go downhill. One of these relationships is coming to an end. So that's just how it goes. Heartbreak Hotel. What y'all know about Heartbreak Hotel?
What do you know about Heartbreak Hotel?
Come on, man. Why are you trying to come at me?
No. You coming at us, dude. You coming at some veterans and some soldiers. What do you know about Heartbreak Hotel? hey, listen here. By the way, everybody who's listening here, this non-Heartbreak Hotel chump is about to have a big birthday coming up soon. So y'all need to send him a big shout out, okay?
Come on, man.
Yeah,
we don't need to talk about my age
blast,
and all that
dude.
stuff. Come on, man. We don't need to do all that. It's all good. All right.
No, ain't all good. I'm putting you on blast, dude. You, man, you're about to turn the big 1-8. That's something big, dude.
Yo,
Hey. Hold on. Regular Scott.
What's up, honey?
My man, regular. So, did you guys may have covered this on the show, and I just have not heard it yet, but did you ever get a chance to watch The Witcher?
No, I have not watched The Witcher.
Money.
Dude, why Why are you waiting to watch that?
Money. I gotta interrupt you. Money, ask him. Just ask him 2 questions, please, and I won't interrupt anymore during the show.
Here we go.
Say, regular Scott, have you watched The Witcher and have you watched Watchmen? Just ask him that, and that's all I need to say. That's it.
Oh,
that's it.
Man, dude, you didn't watch Watchmen either?
Dude. Money. This guy wants to clown me. Part of my anger is just this. The Witcher and Watchmen. This guy loves video games. He loves like blackness. He loves sci-fi, but he has not watched it. And he loves like Henry Cavill too, dude.
Wait. So are they on your do list or are they?
No. Money. He told me. He said to me straight up. I'm not even lying on the DL. He said, I'm not going to watch it. That's going to be my thing. I'm going to be that cat that hasn't watched these things. It's like, that's not the thing, dude.
Okay. All right. Let me put some things to rest. Okay, here we go. First of all, I have watched the very first episode of Watchmen. Okay? I have watched episode 1. All right? So that's a start.
Money. Ask him if he watched the whole episode.
I watched the whole episode.
I watched the whole episode.
Now, I have been on a binge here lately. Okay? Now, when I tell you what I've been binging, I have a feeling that neither of you are going to be happy about it. But I've been on a binge here lately, and I really enjoy the show, and I know I'm going to get flack for it.
Oh, man.
I have been killing Seinfeld lately.
What?
I genuinely enjoy Seinfeld.
I don't even have a response for that. Like
dude, what's
I really don't.
Yo, man, hey, Money.
I'm stunned.
Hey, listen, I you know.
Hey man, I got this other podcast called Black Mass that's begging me to come on. I'm done with this dude, man. Regular Scott. What does Seinfeld has nothing to do with science filled or science fiction filled or sci-fi filled? What is wrong with you, dude?
Oh man.
Hey, yo. They have had
hold
on. Sorry. Yes, sir.
We can't. Well, let's not criticize the brother for watching. Like I like Seinfeld.
Yeah,
so I'm not gonna criticize you for watching Seinfeld. But I think it's equally fair to criticize and say, dude, you haven't watched Watchmen and you haven't watched.
What is wrong with you?
Do you know how those are 2 very, very strong shows?
Hey, money. This is for you because I'm done with this cat. Do you know Henry literally trained?
Yes, I do.
For sword fighting to be that.
Of course, I know that.
Dude,
of course I know
Witcher
that.
fan. Yeah,
hey, money. This is this. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it as the straightest man possible. This is why I love you. Hey, this cat when he did the half sheep sword fighting. That's an actual sword fighting technique.
Yes. Oh yeah. Oh, dude. Look. First of all, Witcher 3 Game of the Year version. plug. Witcher 3 Game of the Year version doesn't even come off of my PS4.
That's awesome.
I still boot it up and play it. It's a phenomenal game. It's probably the second best game I've ever played after The Last of Us. And
what you say? What you say? Your horse is called Roach? Okay, I'm all in.
Oh yeah, it's a phenomenal show, dude. Like, so
dude,
if you don't play, you don't even have to have played the Witcher series to necessarily understand what's happening in the season 1, because they do a really good job of tying it together. Now you are gonna have to go and kind of do some back research.
You have to research it, man. Figure it out. Yeah.
But dude, it's a strong show, and once again, I'm not gonna bash you for watching Seinfeld. I'm just gonna say, Witcher is a very, very strong show. It's a high recommend to watch, as well as Watchmen. I thoroughly enjoy watching season 1 of Watchmen.
Yeah, but as a woke black man, you should regular Scott should have watched it with money just for you, because what regular Scott, like, he won't understand. Maybe he will, but this is a scene where he's at the tavern and they're like, "You want some food?" He's like, "No, I already ate. I had a venison." I was like, "Okay, I'm in. I get you, dude. I get you." It was awesome.
I will take the advice under further investigation.
Only because money sells. I get it.
And I want to come back on this show and talk about it.
Ooh.
Dude, because the Watchmen is what, especially since Regina King was like, "Yo, Netflix gave me a booty load of money for a new contract. I'm not doing Watchmen 2."
Seriously?
Oh, there is not going to be a Watchmen 2. Regina King got a Netflix contract where she can develop a bunch of shows.
I'm sure that Showtime will. Wait, is that an HBO show or Showtime?
It's HBO.
I'm sure that HBO will. Like, I'm sure that the series sign on for more than one season, so they'll
let's see.
They'll find someone to. Now, granted, it's not going to be, but we thought the same thing about season 2 of Spartacus, so they still fill that role very, very well. So she did an amazing job.
She's so good.
She did an amazing job.
Was she good?
If she's not coming back, then
Money. Wasn't she good?
No, she wasn't good. She wasn't good. She was amazing.
Did you not know that? Like, you felt like, Jesus Christ, she kicked my ass, but she also hold my hand too.
I felt like she was perfect for that. I felt like she was perfect for that role.
Man, that was amazing casting. And there were some issues with, like, obviously with getting Dr. Manhattan right. And they wish they would have did some other stuff, which they did in the movie to make them right. But man, I was all in. I was like, cool. And by the way, Don Johnson is an American treasure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Strong show.
Yo,
American treasure. I will take it under further advisement.
Thank you, sir. That's all I ask.
So back to the ones gotta go.
And when you finally do watch and invite me back.
I will do that. So here are 4 couples that we're going to be one of these we're going to be destroying. Obviously, we're going to go with Clark Kent, Lois Lane, Peter Parker, and Mary J. And then we're going to go with Storm and Black Panther, and Luke Cage and Jessica Jones.
Oh, that's easy for me.
I know what mine is already too.
Yeah, that's not even a
money.
Luke Cage and Jessica Jones.
Okay.
They gotta go.
My shit was Peter Parker and Mary Jane. I don't give a fuck about them. They mean nothing to me. Like Mary Jane means, like, she's just like, she's literally like a dude, like the girl who you crushed on, who was like, oh man, that's cool. Yeah, she's like nothing to me. Like, now listen, Jessica Jones and Luke Cage, I get that whole dynamic and stuff like that, but
so money, why did you pick Jessica Jones and Luke Cage?
Because Mary Jane is part of the tragedy that makes Peter Parker who he is.
Why is she part of the tragedy?
Because Spider-Man Spider-Man's one of the reasons why I love him is he's one of the heroes where, like, literally everyone that he loves or that's closest to him befalls some tragedy. And
she has died.
Yeah, but she's if you're saying that, money, she's still the unapproachable, like this supermodel. And there's been story arches that have kind of alluded to her being kind of like, oh, you're Mary Jane, you're doing bikini photos. Awesome. I still support you as a superhero boyfriend. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? Are you serious?
But she's still part of the tragedy. She's still part of the arc that makes Spider-Man who he is.
Yeah, it's like, very tragic.
As he's learning, like he's
Don't mess with them hoes.
He's learning how to be a hero. He's learning how to, you know, who can he trust? Who can he tell? And so Mary Jane's very heavily involved with all of that, and it's part of the thing that like makes him him. And so I just don't think, for me, considering Spider-Man as my favorite superhero ever, I don't want that to go away for him, because I think it changes him. And you know, Luke Cage and Jessica Jones, they're not nearly as like, and the same thing can be true for. I'm not doing away with the Black Love. I'm not doing away with the not with the Black Loves, Storm and Black Panther.
At least not this month.
Yeah, at least not this month.
At least not this month.
And I'm not going away from Lois Lane and Superman, because part of some of those same elements I think is true for Superman. Lois Lane is part of the arc that makes him who he is, versus like Luke Cage and Jessica Jones were already heroes, or somewhat heroes, and and you know, kind of found each other, and they're both flawed, and you know, so it kind of makes sense. But they don't. Neither one of them are essential to each other's story.
So it's time for me to go ahead and stir the pot. I'm going to go start at the top. Luke Cage and Jessica Jones. Definitely can't take them, because I'm all about the interracials. Love me some mixed kids. I'm a mixed boy myself. So I'm not taking away the interracials. That's definitely not happening. Peter Parker and Mary Jane. Listen, Peter Parker getting Mary Jane was any nerd growing up back in the day.
I know.
That was the dream.
You got the girl.
If he can do it, why can't I? And he didn't even use his powers. Why can't I do it? You can't take that away.
He ain't getting a web shooter, dude.
He inspired so many kids just to shoot their shot. Just to shoot their shot.
Just to shoot your web shooter shot.
Hey, that's okay. Just to take your shot. Now, it's going to come down to, are we going with the Great White Hope love of Clark Kent and Lois Lane, or are we going with Black Magic with Storm and T'Challa? Listen, it's February. I'm not going to get rid of Storm and T'Challa. I'm getting rid of Clark Kent and Lois Lane.
Wow.
You're an asshole.
That relationship can go for me. And I'm going to tell you why. I think Clark Kent would have been fine if he never ran into Lois Lane. Because he could have literally ran into any other earthling female. Exactly. And that's exactly what I think.
I said it.
He is who he is because
I said it.
Hey, listen, Oz hasn't stopped talking while we've been trying to go over our thing since we started.
No, he hasn't.
No, he hasn't. He has not. But yeah, and that's why I say that, because he is who he is because of his parents, not Lois. So that's why I go with Lois and Clark.
That's true.
But he'd do anything for Lois, though.
He would do anything for Lois, and that is the key ingredient.
You think Luke Cage would do anything for Jessica Jones?
Yes, dude. So
I think at certain points he would, but
Money and regular Scott, I'm going to give a different perspective on things. This is from the.
I'm very shocked by that you have.
Yeah, from literally the loudmouth old man, Sanford and Son, Red Fox dude. Yes, I'm going to give a different perspective. So when you said all these couples, I started thinking of it as like lineage, you know. So. If you get rid of like you can say like Lois Lane and Superman, but they have Jonathan, who is more powerful than Superman, by the way. That's lineage. You can say T'Challa and Storm, but actually, legit, they have a kid that's more powerful than both of them. You know, from the animated series, you can even go. And do Mary Jane and Spider-Man, their kid ain't that fucking special. Their kid's nothing. But so that's why I said take away that cat, because like every other one has a lineage of a kid that's like, whoa. And even Luke Cage and Jessica Jones' kid is like Miss America with Captain America's shield, who's a badass. So,
but Superman's kid didn't have anything to like. Him being as powerful as he wasn't because of Lois.
Dude,
if he would have got with Lana Lang, they would have still had the same kid.
We can say that it's cool, but like the love story, man. You want to get rid of Superman and Lois Lane, then you have no injustice. You have like Superman's love affair with Lois Lane is deep.
Come on, man. We could have got to Injustice without Lois Lane. You could put another woman in that.
I know. People want to say that, regular Scott, but if you get down to it, there's a really, really super awesome 2-storyline arc from Batman that has literally Clark Kent, Lois Lane, Bruce Wayne, Selina Kyle all on a double date, and they just go into their things, and you're like, oh, Lois Lane is she's not something to be taken lightly.
No, she's not. But I think you can. There's other strong women in the world who aren't to be taken lightly. No, too.
It's true. It's true. But you understand how you understand how DC made their arc though with Lois. They made Lois Lane for Superman to go like. And granted, they're two like a white dude, white woman. I get it, but the way they had planned their arc was that he came from a small area, fell in love with like Lana Lang, and learned how to have a teenager to like high school relationship with a person healthy. But then in the adult world, he got with Lois Lane, who taught him how to be like, oh, this is how you have a real relationship, like a real relationship with a person that's like, oh, I have my own world, you have your own world, that kind of thing.
I agree with you. I agree with you, regular. Like, as none of that means shit because you like regular Scott is right in the point that like he could have gotten that from Brittany next door, like. You could have gotten that from my neighbor downstairs. Like, I mean, that's just a very real part of being in an adult relationship. So it didn't have to be Lois Lane to give him that.
But think about this though: you date a lot of poop butts and a lot of amazing people in your life. But there are certain people that, if it's Valentine's Day past that we're talking about. There's certain people that spark your interest and make you want to be more. He thought he was a great reporter, but then he realized that Lois Lane was a really good investigative reporter.
But
that's the other underlying stuff
to be a reporter though, so that doesn't mean anything either. Like his identity, he could have been a fucking mailman. Like
no. But guess what?
He could have been Mel Kiper. He could have been a draft analyst.
No, that's true. Money. That's true. But he did need to be a newspaper investigative reporter to get a sense as an alien, to get a broad sense of what the world was. That's why they made him a reporter in the first place.
That's not okay.
I don't know about that.
Dude, that's a whole other debate about it. But in the general sense of why in initial DC direct current, DC made him a reporter was to say, hey, he's an everyday in his otherwise guise as an everyday person. He has to he's in tune to everything that's happening. That's why he was able to go to when, hey, there's a disaster happening, report on this. Wait, okay, that was the whole premise behind that too. He could have been a plumber, but there. So
two things. My first thing is I'm in the minority in this. I prefer Superman with Wonder Woman. I just think they match up real well.
Yeah, I know that would be kind of cool, right?
Yeah, I think they match up real well. Secondly,
and their kid would be cool too.
Their kid would be incredible. Yeah. If him and Lois can make Jonathan, just imagine what him and Diana can make.
But
they have all this undercover romanticism going already. Yeah, am I the one that sees that?
They alluded to that in the new animated movies where he's like, oh, we dated, it didn't work out. But they also do so in Kingdom Come, which is really brilliant, by the way. Mark Webb and Alex Ross, like Bruce Wayne being his brilliant self, like he's like, hey, Clark, Lois, let's go out for like to go eat dinner. And Bruce is like, you're pregnant. And Lois is like, what? What do you? Well, sorry. Wonder Woman. Diana's like, what do you mean? He's like, I can tell you have a strand of gray hair and you're a goddess. And they produce an amazing kid, dude. And there's another arc that has where Wonder Woman and Superman have a kid, and that kid is raised on freaking Amazonia or whatever that. Yeah, I love you, Themyscira. And that kid is lethal.
See, that's what I'm talking about. And
it's awesome. It's awesome.
My other thing was, at least none of us picked Storm and Black Panther. We all can agree on that. That one has to stay.
Whether our subconscious was working or not, we didn't want to do it. So.
Right. We all agreed that one should stay.
There are some things as black men we didn't want to touch, and that's perfect.
At least not till March.
Which is Women's History Month, so it's fine. So it's okay.
All right, so I got a couple more news tidbits, and then we'll wrap this bad boy up. This has been a very packed show.
Cause money's on this show, dude. Can we have this cat on this show every week, please? Wait, okay. That means every time we have a show. Well, okay. Anyway, so sorry.
So do you? Well, actually, I'm actually curious about this. While let's go a little bit more to the comics.
Yo, wait, I gotta interrupt. Money.
Hey, money. I don't even think we made it 5 minutes that time.
But we didn't touch on the XFL.
You do realize that, like, just because you say you don't mean to interrupt doesn't mean you actually mean that you don't mean to interrupt, right? Like,
money. It's straight bullshit. That's like a person saying, "Oh, excuse me," when they really don't mean excuse me. They're just like, "I need to get in front of you."
Okay.
So we didn't even touch on the XFL though.
Right. So Oz, you can touch on the XFL during your final blow.
Okay, fine.
Okay, fine. Great. Fantastic. Actually, you know what? I'll do one more news tidbit, and then we can do the XFL to wrap it up. How about that? Just for you, Oz. If you can make it through this next news tidbit without cutting me or money off, we will do the XFL to close out.
You are, as usual, very benevolent. Thank you.
Brown nosing don't get you no extra points or extra time either.
I'm black, dude. What do you expect my nose to be, bro?
Hey, touche.
I can't be. I'm just saying, bro.
Touche. All right. Here we go. Rogue. I was gonna go to DC Comics, but I'm gonna stick with the Marvel because I want to get y'all's thoughts on this news tidbit. Rogue is rumored to be the main villain in Captain Marvel 2.
Damn.
Oh no.
Money, I'm gonna start.
Rogue is in the X-Men Rogue?
Yep, Rogue is in the X-Men Rogue. Money, I'm gonna start with you. What are your thoughts on Rogue potentially being the main villain in Captain Marvel 2?
I'm already confused. I feel like, is it gonna be like they have a misunderstanding about? I wonder how. First of all, Rogue's one of my favorite X-Men.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know of any arcs where she's not like a good guy. So maybe they have one of those things where you have a misunderstanding between the heroes and you got to fight it out like a Civil War type of deal. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So Oz, and please correct me if I'm wrong about this at any point in time. I am giving you permission to cut me off if I start speaking incorrectly. Right
I'm chomping.
I know you are.
I'm chomping.
If I remember correctly, Rogue almost kills Captain Marvel, absorbing her powers, and that's how she gets her superhuman strength and her flight ability. Am I correct on that, Oz?
I'm going to say this to you right now in front of money. Regular Scott, no matter how many times we bicker, no matter how many times I cut you off, you are still the smartest person I know.
I got one right.
And I mean that even including myself. Yeah, you were absolutely correct. So, Money, I'm going to give you a quick rundown on this, okay? I just literally got excited when I heard that, man, because there's a little hidden story, man. And I'm going to give you a little personal tale about this, too. One of the very first times I ever got freaked out reading a comic book was reading the story arc where Rogue came around. Mystique is an asshole, Money. Mystique is a dirty, dirty asshole. You know why she's an asshole? To Nightcrawler, and just abandon him, because she's like, oh my God, my baby's blue. Yes, I can change, and she abandoned her baby, and then she thought she could redeem herself by adopting Rogue, this weirdo mutant who would touch people and absorb all their powers and all their memories. The ratio was this: if she touched you for a second, she would absorb all of you for a minute. If she touched you for a minute, it's an hour. If she touched you for an hour, it's just never been done. Okay, so Mystique is like, oh, here's my chance for redemption, but she turns into an asshole again and raises this kid to be a manipulative little fucking freak. And so she raises Rogue with Destiny, who can foresee the future. And Destiny's like, I don't really see Rogue hanging with her. And Mystique is like, I love you, Destiny, but, I know what's going on. And she was with Pyro and Blob and all these people, right? And, dude, they bum rushed. And by the way, Marvel did it because no one ever heard of Captain Marvel when she transitioned to Miss Marvel, where after she became Miss Marvel, they let Captain Marvel become a guy again, a Kree soldier. So they kind of let her in the dust. So the way of getting rid of her was to go like, oh, she was an Avenger, all this stuff. She fought Rogue. Rogue held on to her for longer than an hour and fucked her up. Took away all, like literally, Carol Danvers' powers, took away all of her. Left her a blank slate, no powers, no nothing for a long time. By the way, she became binary and fucked Rogue up when she became binary. But that's the other story. So she never held onto her for longer than an hour, totally drained her of everything. Rogue got messed up in her brain, left Mystique, came to the X-Men going, please, Professor X, save me, help me. I have all these memories of all this stuff. This is not my memories. A little sub-story. I'm sorry, guys. I'll be in it, because a little sub-story was Miss Marvel, Captain Marvel's favorite thing to do was she would take a silver-dollared Susan B. Anthony coin and throw it at super speed, and it will ricochet and fuck things up. She threw one into the SHIELD helicarrier, and it ricocheted and fucked everything up in the SHIELD helicarrier. That's a little side story. So anyway, back to this. She absorbed all of Captain Marvel's powers, Miss Marvel, and that's how she became super strong, all this stuff. And it took her a long time to get rid of those powers, by the way, until she was able to get back to just Rogue absorbing normal powers. And long time being years and years. So it's really fucked up history, dude. So back to this. I think that's awesome, but they'll fuck it up with her storyline. But man, if they keep the storyline great, that's really cool. It's cool.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. So Money. That was really long and long-winded, but that's a little hidden history, dude. Because they bum rushed everybody. They fucked the Avengers up, dude. Here's the thing for you. They had.
You don't have to tell me the whole movie. I still want to see the movie.
Yeah. No. They took Iron Man, and they trapped Tony Stark in his armor for a long time while they were hitting the Avengers for a bit, dude.
So I'm really.
I feel like.
No, go ahead, Oz.
Right.
Well,
that
I was just
story,
going to say. Go ahead, Oz. You got it.
I'm sorry. That story from the 80s was a precursor to the Old Man Logan story where the bad guys took over everything, by the way.
So I'm really excited about the Rogue thing because I think like one of the things that we've talked about on this show, one of the past episodes was, you know, when we broke the news that the X-Men were going to get introduced to the MCU. Yeah. I kind of said that one of the ways to do it, instead of doing this big team thing and to kind of build towards the team up, would be to introduce mutants one by one in different movies and whatnot. Sprinkle them in. You know, Scarlet Witch, you can introduce 2 or 3 mutants that way. And I think this would be a great way to introduce this version of Rogue, because the last live action version of Rogue we got, she wasn't flying around. She didn't have her super strength. This is a way to get that animated series, that comic accurate Rogue character who can be that dominant female figure in the MCU for the X-Men. Like, I think this would be a great way to introduce the X-Men slowly, one by one, and she could have a redemption arc as well.
Hey, Regular Scott, money, not to cut you off, Regular Scott, not to cut you off, but one really quick note. Everybody's hating on Brie Larson, right? Everybody's hating on her. Like, oh, get rid of her. What a great way.
Who's hating on Brie Larson?
But there's all this backlash on her.
Oh, we talked about that already. That's not real. That's not real.
So what an easy way to figure something out with her by getting Rogue to, like, you ended with Rogue taking her powers and stuff, like, what happens here? You know?
I'm pretty sure she signed a contract to be Captain Marvel for X amount of movies.
But I'm gonna tell you, dude, if you ever want to read a good story arc, is when Captain Marvel becomes binary and gets all these powers, and she fucking fucks Rogue's ass up, dude. At the X Mansion too, by the way. Oh, it's great. It's really good stuff, man.
So
I'll check that out.
Oz, you didn't quite make it the whole Oz, you didn't quite make it the whole conversation without cutting someone off. So we're not going to get to talk about the XFL tonight. No, we can touch on the XFL real quick before we
Regular Scott. You know what to expect when you have me on when I'm on the show. So.
You can come on our show and we can talk about the XFL.
Okay. No, I'll still throw it in my final blow. So
yeah, that's fine. You can definitely throw it in your final blow. So that's all the news tidbits I got. Or at least all the ones I'm gonna bring up for now. We covered a lot of ground. Money, it's been fantastic having you on. You've been a breath of fresh air. It's always good to have another voice on. Definitely make sure you guys are checking out Unsupervised, the new podcast from the Firelight Podcast from our good friends Money, West Coast Jay, Macho Man Vandal Savage, and HP, Hollywood Paul, the only member of that podcast that I have not had on the show yet, and that will change.
Yes, he needs to come on the show, sir.
And hey, we're gonna return the favor. We'll have you guys out with us.
You sure you want Oz on your show? That's a lot of air he's gonna be taking.
Hey, I'm a pretty strict showrunner.
Have Regular Scott on, Money, because you know, once you start getting on some certain topics, I'm like, okay, here we go. You know. I'm sorry, man. It was good stuff. I was literally when I was listening to the show, at a certain point, I started talking. I was like, oh wait, I'm not on the show. I'm listening to the podcast, so I should shut the fuck up. So.
Hey, I appreciate that, man. That just lets me know we our topics were hot. Our topics were hot.
Sparking conversation.
Literally, West Coast Jay said, do we need to get rid of him, or should he just be retired? And I was like, I don't even follow like college basketball. What am I doing? This is crazy. It's a great show, dude. It's good.
So
I appreciate that, man.
With that being said, Money, we'll start with you. Go ahead and give your final blow. Plug your show one more time, where they can download it, where they can find it, and anything else that you want to plug as well.
You already know, man. I always thoroughly enjoy getting to come and kick it with you guys. It's been a pleasure, and the pleasure is all you guys, and mine too. Though I'm just bullshitting. Always, congratulations to your show, man. The growth, a year strong.
Yeah.
Digging it, man. Just keep growing, keep doing your thing. And you taught me a lot about how to run a show, man. So
yeah,
regularly you do your thing. I try to shout you out as often as possible. By the way, you're one of my faves, and
I appreciate that.
I just think you do you're welcome, man. I just think you do a great job over here, man, and keep rocking it, keep doing your thing. Once again, this is Money from Unsupervised the Spinoff Podcast. I actually was not on the show that we got to record last night. And HP was sick, so we got a West Coast J and a sick HP without me. But it's still a dope show. I was listening to it a little bit before this show started. Still a dope show. You guys get out there and check it out. I will be back next week. I had some family stuff going on yesterday, but I will be back next week in my rightful spot as the chair heir. But yeah, check us out, thefirelightpods.com. Shout out to the whole network. And y'all get ready for that battleground, baby. I gotta bring home a crown.
No, sir. We do have to bring home a crown, but I appreciate your gesture, though.
Hey, so
doubt.
Money, do you think your chances have been increased since Lynn and Kim have officially been split up for this battleground?
Hey, man, I heard them on their show talking about trying to get both back together. So I don't even know. And now we push back.
Hey,
I don't know if they're really going to be split up, man. Everybody had their hopes up that the champs may return as a dynamic duo.
They talking about some Hillary Clinton stronger together. I'm like, no. They lost that campaign. Don't do that. No, please, sir. No.
Hey. Man, yeah, man.
It's a conspiracy theory why I got pushed back. It was all a setup for them to be able to get together.
Regular Scott, I know, and you're part of the conspiracy theory too, brother.
Listen, why would I be a part of it? I want you to win because I want some gear too.
Do I want some gear, man? So you should be helping a brother out, son.
Well, listen, I've been doing all I can. I brought a sparring partner in for you. What more can I do?
Yo, you got pummeled too.
Dang. Well, then, obviously, Money and Regular Scott. That's not a sparring partner. He was like beating me up.
To be fair, he is a former champ. So, I wanted you to go against a former champion, so you saw what it took to get to the top.
The only difference between a champ and a chump is you, and I was a you.
Mean.
So I'm coming back strong, though. I learned a lot.
What you got for your final blow, Oz?
You got
pummeled. So my pops was talking actually about the XFL. He was like, I kind of like it. And then I was thinking about when I was listening to your show, Money, that I was like, yeah, you guys brought up a good point that like Vince McMahon has a lot of he's got a lot of money, and it's entertaining, and it's interesting to see how this goes. I wonder if it's going to last more than 2 years, but he had a lot of people, and the smartest comment I heard was that from West Coast was that wrestling fans love football, so why wouldn't they love this? Because it involves wrestling, kind of in this sort of way. So it was cool. And my final blow, actually, a legit final blow for this is, I listened to the second show. I'm down. It was great. It was really good. It made me think about a lot of stuff on a lot of different levels. Like I legit wanted to go. I need to figure out more stuff and investigate. So it was cool. I appreciate it, Money. It was good.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, man. And so we're here to support. That's all. And sorry about that. Another real tip. I'll try and be real for 1 second. Yeah, really. I mean, you're okay. I mean, you're all right as a co-host. Maybe you got something going on, but whatever. Maybe you might be legit, but whatever, dude. It's fine.
How did I get thrown into your final blow?
Because
How did I end up in your final blow?
Because I feel like I don't always appreciate you.
Aww.
Even though when you don't need to be appreciated, right. I just want to give it a little shout out. All
right, well, that's cool. I appreciate
and by the way, I'm starting my own podcast as of next week, where I'm leaving.
It's called Rants.
Oh, that's mean, man. It's really mean.
Hey,
by the way, it's called Rant. You can find me on.
Hey, listen, if you're gonna throw me a softball, I'm definitely gonna make contact. Did you get that reference?
Yeah, because it's a softball, and the dudes were like, "You might make it on the girls' softball league, but try out." So
what?
Oh boy.
What? Oh. All right. So for my final blow, as I've been doing every time, I'm going to promote a different podcast, and we definitely have money here from Unsupervised, so definitely check that out. I'm also going to promote Superhero Speaks podcast. It has my good friend JD on it, along with David and John. They do a great job over there. They're always up to date with the news. They have interviews when they go to different Comic-Cons. So definitely check out the Superhero Speaks podcast. They put out a great show. And, also while you're at it, you could definitely check out the Showdown Pro Wrestling podcast with myself and JD, since we were talking about Vince McMahon. I mean, cheap plug, but you brought up Vince McMahon. So
yeah, because you're cheap, dude. You're cheap.
You brought up Vince McMahon. So what was I supposed to do? I couldn't help myself.
No, you could. You could have.
I probably could have. Yeah, I probably could have, but I didn't want to. But again, follow Superhero Speaks at Superhero Speak. Make sure you check out the Unsupervised the Spinoff Podcast with my man Money, West Coast J, HP. Money, tell everyone you'll talk to him next time, because there will definitely be a next time.
Hey, you guys, I loved it. I'll talk to you next time. Hopefully, we can talk about The Boys Season 2 and some Witcher.
Yeah.
Let's tell everyone we'll talk to them next time.
Hey, folks, as usual, peace and chicken grease.
Oh, I didn't have to say it this time. And y'all have a good time, because we're going to have a good time until we talk to y'all next time. Peace.
What you doing on a Sunday? Why you still recording, dude?